My name is Daniel Carter. I'm an investigative journalist. I've covered drug rings, gang violence, missing persons, stories most people would rather not look too closely at. I always believed fear was something you could understand, analyze, even control. I was wrong. It started the night I drove into a town called Black Hollow. It was just after sunset. The road leading in was swallowed by dense forest, trees leaning in so close it felt like they were closing behind me. My GPS lost signal miles back. My phone barely had one bar. At the edge of town there was a sign, Black Hollow, population 312. I remember that clearly, because even then it felt like a warning. I was there investigating a string of disappearances. 5 people had vanished in the last 3 months. No bodies, no witnesses, no explanation. But there was one thing connecting all of them. The night before they disappeared, they had all stayed at the same place, Hollow Inn. I pulled up just after dark. The building looked like it hadn't been touched in decades. The neon sign flickered, half the letters dead, the rest buzzing faintly. Wind pushed against it, making it creak like something alive. Inside, the front desk was dimly lit. A man sat behind it, pale, thin. His eyes looked faded. "Room?" he asked. "One night," I said. He slid an old registry book toward me. "Name? Daniel Carter." His pen paused. "Journalist?" I didn't answer. He handed me a key. "Room 7. I turned to go, but he spoke again. "Don't open the curtains tonight." I looked back. "Why?" He held my gaze for a moment, then said quietly, "Because there's nothing out there." That didn't make sense. If there was nothing outside, why warn me? But I didn't press him. Room 7 was at the end of a narrow hallway upstairs. The lights flickered as I walked. The floor creaked under every step. When I opened the door, the smell hit me first. Dust, damp wood, something faintly rotten. The room was small. A bed, a table, a lamp, peeling wallpaper, and directly across from the bed, a painting. A man, sharp features, hollow cheeks, dressed in dark clothing, but it was the eyes that caught me. They were too real, too focused, too aware. I stepped closer. The brushwork was detailed, almost lifelike. The eyes seemed to follow the bed, to follow me. "Yeah, that's unsettling," I muttered. I recorded a quick note on my phone, then set my things down. At that point, I was still calm, curious even. I thought I was chasing a story. Around midnight, I turned off the lights and lay down. That's when it started. The silence. Not normal silence. This was complete. No cars, no voices, no wind, just nothing. I stared at the ceiling for a while. Then I looked at the painting. In the dark, I could barely see it, except for the eyes. 2 faint reflections, watching. I turned away. Get some sleep, I told myself, but I couldn't. The feeling grew stronger. Someone was watching me. Not a vague fear, a certainty. I turned back again. The eyes looked brighter, closer. I sat up and switched on the lamp. Everything snapped back to normal. Same painting, same man. Just my imagination. That's what I told myself. I grabbed my jacket and threw it over the painting. There, problem solved. I lay back down. Eventually, I fell asleep. I woke up to a sound. Tap. Soft. Sharp. Like a nail clipping on glass. I didn't move. Then tap. 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 3 times. From across the room. From behind the jacket. My throat tightened. "Hello?" I called. No answer. I grabbed my phone, turned on the flashlight, and aimed it at the wall. The jacket was still there, but something was wrong. It was bulging slightly in the middle, like something behind it was pressing forward. I got out of bed, slowly. Every step felt too loud. That's when I smelled it. Wet earth, decay, something buried. I stood in front of the painting, reached out, grabbed the edge of the jacket, and then I heard it, breathing, right in front of me, on the other side of that thin layer of fabric. I froze. That wasn't wind. That wasn't imagination. That was someone. I yanked the jacket away. The painting was still there, but the man, he was smiling, just slightly. I stumbled back. No, no, that's not... I turned and ran to the door. Locked. I tried again. Nothing. Like something was holding it shut from the outside. I grabbed the phone. Dead. No signal on my cell either. Then the light flickered. Once. Twice. Gone. Darkness swallowed the room. I stood there barely breathing. And then I heard something else. Closer. Right in front of me. A slow exhale against glass. I raised my phone again, hand shaking, and turned the light back on. That's when I understood. It wasn't a painting. The man was gone. What I thought was paint was reflection. I stepped forward and touched it. Cold, smooth, glass. A window, hidden behind a frame. My hand started to shake. I grabbed the edge and pulled. The frame came loose, and behind it was the night, and a man standing just outside, his face pressed against the glass, eyes locked onto mine, the same eyes, the ones I had been staring at all night. He'd been there the whole time, watching me. I couldn't move. He slowly lifted his hand, tapped the glass, tap, tap, tap. Then he smiled, and suddenly the window burst open. I ran. The door gave way this time. I didn't question it. I sprinted down the hallway. Behind me I heard footsteps, wet, dragging, getting closer. I nearly fell down the stairs. The lobby was empty. No one at the desk. The front door was locked. I grabbed the phone and smashed it against the glass. Once, twice. On the third hit, it shattered. I forced my way out, cutting my arm in the process. Didn't feel it. Didn't care. I ran to my car, unlocked it. Just before I got in, I looked up. Room 7. Someone was standing in the window. Not the man. The clerk. He stared down at me, expressionless, then slowly raised his hand and waved, like he was saying goodbye. I drove until sunrise. Didn't stop. Didn't look back. Not once. I made it to a police station miles away. Told them everything. They listened too carefully, like they'd heard it before. They drove me back, but the inn was gone. Nothing there. Just an empty lot. Overgrown grass. They told me a fire destroyed it 20 years ago. No one rebuilt. No one stayed. I didn't argue, because there's one thing I can't explain. That painting, that man, if he wasn't outside the window anymore, then where is he now? Sometimes, late at night, I wake up and I feel it again. That same feeling. Someone watching me. I don't turn around. I don't check. Because I know this now. Some windows, once opened, never close again.